A horrific story out of our nation's capital this week. 31-year-old Nasrat Ahmed Yar, who served courageously as an interpreter alongside U.S. forces in Afghanistan, was gunned down while working as a rideshare driver in D.C. The father of four fled the war-torn nation during the chaotic U.S. withdrawal in 2021, originally settling in Philadelphia before moving to Washington, D.C., concerned about Philadelphia crime rates. No arrests have yet been made. Those are the perpetrators who moments earlier had shot him. But police have released this video of possible suspects running down an alley after the shooting. Joining us now, retired Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Butler, an U.S. Army Special Forces veteran who served 2 tours in Afghanistan with Nasrat, and Jeremy Malone, a close friend who helped Nasrat and his family escape Afghanistan. Welcome to you both. What a terrible story. Matthew, you served with him. Tell us about what it was like to serve with him in Afghanistan.
It was a real pleasure, to be honest with you, Pete. Nasrat was kind of a legend within the Special Forces community as we occupied Bagram Air Base and what was known as a Special Forces Camp Vance. Nasrat essentially was about a 10-year-old boy when that happened in 2001. And he just hung around us. So by the time I met him in 2009, you know, the stories were still almost like a folklore, so to speak, about this kid that sort of was raised by Green Berets, so to speak.
And so let me stay with you real quick, Colonel. So he was raised by U.S. Special Forces, and then he invested in for a decade fighting alongside them.
Well, yeah, kind of almost 2 decades in total. I mean, it was probably about, you know, by the time I met him in 2009, 2010, he was my interpreter for both of those tours. And so he would have been about 18 or 19 at those ages, and so he would have served as an interpreter for the next 10 years. But he had already invested about, you know, like I said, 8 or 9 years of working on the camp and being involved with us. So he essentially, in his short life, 31 years when he passed, he gave us about 18 of those years in service of this country, not his.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeremy, you helped him escape after the collapse of Afghanistan. The Taliban certainly would have wanted to hunt him. He came here for a better life.
Yeah, well, and Matt did as well. There were a lot of people within our networks that were doing a lot of things to help Nasrat, and Nasrat was always helping other people as well. He didn't have a job at that point. That once the Taliban takes over, anybody who is pro-U.S. does not have an opportunity to work anymore, and many of them are hunted like Nasrat was. But he didn't have a paying job to do, but it was important to him to earn every favor that he got. He never wanted you to think he was taking something for free or that he took any help for granted. And he was also committed to helping other Afghans that helped us as well. Those people were his friends, even if he didn't know them. So he was always doing whatever he could to help the evacuation effort for people that he felt were, you know, his compatriots, the Afghans that helped the U.S. military mission in Afghanistan.
And I know guys like him, whether it's Esmatullah or Abdul, guys I served with in Afghanistan and Iraq who were legends. You're right. You can't do your job without them, and they came to the United. You don't realize how difficult it is to come to the United States, restart a life with your wife and kids. How is his family doing, Colonel? Do you know?
I've had some contact with him through a family friend because the wife doesn't speak English, and they're making it. It's still very challenging. There's still a lot of, I guess, sort of like bureaucratic or admin type of hurdles that we need to work through with respect to life insurance policies and identification and things like that. But we're going to get there.
Well, I want to thank you both for remembering his legacy. I believe the funeral is today. We honor him. We're grateful for his service. We pray for his family. And by the way, you can go to foxandfriends.com. There's a GoFundMe page for Nasrat's family. And I want to thank Matthew Butler and Jeremy Malone for being here and remembering his memory today. Nasrat Ahmed Yar was just 31 years old. He leaves behind a wife and 4 children. May he rest in peace.